thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys having me. Some human beings and not being on this thing all the time, which is kind of what we've been living on as a staff this last year and a half or so. I appreciate it. I love getting out in front of the community. We just haven't had the opportunity. We have all the facts. I don't like saying they're always excuses. The facts are the facts. We've been kind of shut down, obviously. And our inability to be out in the community and get to know some people, it's tough, especially when you're trying to establish a culture of a program that we want to establish in a particular way. And fortunately for me, I do have 4 little ones. So I know several of you people here, and I've been out and about at a variety of events, just surviving, trying to chase my almost 4-year-old. We can call her 4 officially here on Saturday, this last year. So it means a lot that you guys allowed me to come up here and talk a little bit. I had a few things just to kind of talk about. One thing I keep getting asked is just about the program update. And that's one of the best things about this community is there's an investment into the community here. You can definitely see that people want to know about one another. Fortunately for me, that can lead to a lot of support in our arena, and it'll help us win some games. The community support is going to be so vital in our continued growth in this program right here. But for our program, a little bit of what happened to us last year, for those of you who don't know, we ended up, we had a 33-day break in the middle of the season. So on December 19th, we go down to beat Morehead State. The only time all year we had our entire roster healthy and prepared to play through the different injuries or actual COVID tracing or protocols and things like that. So we had a good team. We had a 1-0 team. And then 33 days later, we couldn't play for 33 days. Couldn't practice, couldn't do anything. We could play 2-on-2 because guys kept where our problem, we kind of got bookended. So one guy would have test positive, and then everyone was fine, but he knocked out the other 8 guys, and then another guy at the end of our protocol days knocked out, and it just kept on going and going and going. So, we, with all the math and the tracing and all that kind of stuff, we took a 33-day break in the middle of the season. And, the best thing about, and then we just played. We ended up playing a high school kid. He wasn't even supposed to be on our team, but with NCAA rules, he came early because he wasn't going to lose his year. He's like 5'10", 148 pounds. Like, he was a high school kid that we have a vision for him in the future. And he became one of our 8 qualified players to make up that we were allowed, I will say, OBC was so generous of us, to play 19 games in 42 days. So every other day we were playing for the most part. For NCAA rules and the reality of our injuries, we didn't practice. We would do some 2-on-2, some 3-on-3. When we had the opportunity to practice, it was probably 3 to 5 times where you could practice. There was a couple times we literally put in a scouting report the day of the game because we played Saturday, couldn't meet with the team on Sunday for NCAA rules, and then played Monday, and then we played Tuesday, and then we played Thursday and played Saturday. Now, those are just facts, and it sounds like like woe is me. It was great. It was great because at the end of the season, the guys that I have coming back right now, they could have gone one of 2 ways. We could have completely cracked, and there was moments. There was moments that there was some hugs, there were some tears, there were some frustrations, or you could really come together. And fortunately for us, we really came together, made a run at the end, made our tournament. It's not our end goal by any means. I'll never say that is our end goal. Competed, ended up, losing to Belmont in our tournament. But those guys saw and had a little bit of a taste of what adversity and coming together can lead to if you do it the right way. And we did have some successes. We built on it this summer, had our guys in for 7 or 8 weeks this summer. And we actually had our team. We had a little issue with a guy not being able to be around for just through some illness. and you could already see that we all kind of got scared again right away, like, oh, here we go. But we kind of weathered it, and our guys all come back Saturday afternoon to get ready to roll and be in the classroom. So that's a little bit of kind of our path to get here last year. I know some of you guys saw us online. We were playing so many games, I didn't know what city we were in sometimes. There was one time we actually gave up a home game, and we were going to play 2 games on the road at Jacksonville State. Like, think of that one. It was going to be easier for us to play twice on the road at a really good place instead of driving 9 hours back, playing them the next day, and then driving right back down to Murray State and Austin Peay. So we were making those type of choices, and those are choices that shouldn't be having to be made. And graciously, the conference finally decided to allow us to have 1 day off, and we didn't have to end up doing that. But we did a lot for this conference for sure. A couple questions that were asked to me is a little bit about recruiting. How'd you do it? What's our strategies? What's our mindset? I have a great staff. You know, Troy Pierce is over here. He's done a heck of a job really figuring out. We have a find a way mentality. It's something that I quite literally wake up on a daily basis, and it goes so deep I can't even totally put it into words, but it's essentially figuring out a way to get the job done. Be self-reliant, self-sufficient, self-aware. All right. But you also do it within your family. You don't do, you know, it's kind of morphed. We talk about our fall fam, our find a way family. You have to find a way to get things done. You got to be self-reliant, but don't be afraid to rely upon your family as well and those around you. And you're only as good as them. And I have a great staff, and our staff did a great job of trying to figure out and be creative to get people on this type of setting in Zoom experiencing Edwardsville. Because one of our best qualities, it's not me. All right, my wife will tell you that for sure. My kids will too right now. It's the community. It's our campus is off the charts. It's our community is off the charts. Our location is phenomenal. All right. And from a sports perspective, there's a great love and passion for sports in this area. Well, you can't experience that necessarily on Zoom. We had a young man, Jonathan Curtis, who we did a good job of hitting it out of the ballpark with him on the computer. Well, he still had to see it. And that's what I would want my child to do if I'm making a commitment somewhere. He flew out here and he's like, that's home. He walked around. We couldn't meet with him legally. He flew out with him and his dad in between a couple of his high school games. And he's like, you're spot on. The pictures lived up to it. Didn't even do it justice. We got to meet people. They asked people about us. They asked people about the community. And I had no control. Like on a recruiting visit, you can go to the right restaurants. You can go to put them around the right setting. You can make sure you know what's happening a little bit to paint the best picture you can. They came on their own, and I couldn't see them, and I didn't know who they were talking to. And this community stole this 6'10", 242 freshman that can run, jump, catch, and dunk pretty well. So thank you for that. That makes me a better coach. And that's 100% the truth. You know, we have a lot of things on our a lot of guys on our team that you will recognize. Some people that you won't. We have a set of twins, Lamar and Shamar Wright, that are back. I would strongly encourage you all to invest time in learning about our entire team, these 2 young men in particular. There was an unbelievable, their story is not something that I talk about publicly. It's not my story to tell. But they did just have a feature on ESPN E60 that if you watch that and you're not at our first game, I don't know what to tell you. You don't have to cheer for me, but I know you're going to cheer for those 2 young men. And we have a lot of guys like that on our team. And it's really allowed us to establish a culture that can be embraced. We have the highest GPA in school history the last 2 years, basketball GPA the last 2 years. We can control certain things. We couldn't control our schedule. We couldn't control our day-to-day, but our guys controlled their academics. And I was proud of them for that. We had some guys that achieved more than they had it in the past. The unique rules of everyone gets a year back. You don't know who you're recruiting right now because the transfer rules are crazy. You can transfer and go play somewhere right away. You used to have to sit out. You used to have to be released. You used to have a conversation. You can literally go into the coach's office right now and say, I'm leaving. You put your name in what they call a portal, Within 48 hours, anyone can recruit you. So relationship and community better be a focus of your program. You better have the right kind of culture, the relationships with these young men and one another, and the community is so vital for our success, because if they don't want to leave us, it allows you to build it the right way. Because right now there's a lot of grass is always greener out there, and unfortunately the new NCAA rules have kind of done that. A couple other kids. Someone asked me about Rayshawn Taylor. He is healthy. He unfortunately July 29th last year was not a good day. Came down, tweaked his knee, found out it was a torn ACL. Thing I love about Rayshawn, and I think this community knows a little bit about and will embrace it because of the kind of person he is. He never took himself out of the team, off of the team. He was in every huddle. He was calling plays. He was like, let's run it. And I just, when you sat there and you just totally sat back, and I appreciated the fact that he wanted to be part of something, and he found ways to be part of something that he wanted to be part of the only way he knew how and the only way he could. So he is healthy. He's about 6'2", 185 pounds. That's pretty cool too. We like that. Big, strong guard, big time player. We're excited to have him back representing us and obviously our community as well. That was a question we had. And we signed some other guys. We signed some guys that, a junior college kid that actually has 4 years left. The rules, I know I'm kind of bouncing around, but like the rules are everyone got their year back. So a kid that typically might come from a junior college or a transfer would have 1, 2, 3 years maybe. Well, we have a 20-year-old freshman that went to a prep school and a junior college because I think he got caught up in being overseen, and now he's a freshman at 20 years old. We have a transfer, he's 22 years old with from Arkansas Pine Bluff that averaged 17-7 that came to our program. I can talk about our roster until I'm blue in the face because I'm very excited about them. But that's just a little bit of kind of how we tried building our team together. A little bit with that. The day-to-day COVID, I know some people have asked about that. How we manage it. We asked our guys, as everybody, all right, we asked our guys to be isolated. All right. So this summer, one of our mentalities was a no me mindset. No me, no me mindset. And it was in a me society. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I really don't. We were quite literally telling our guys, come to practice, go to your room, sit in your room, don't be by your roommate. Because your roommate, and there's a wall in between you, and we have all the protocols, right? Then you're out for 10 days, or you're out for 14 days. So we get your practice, we can make sure everyone's good, and then you go sit in your room and you come back to practice tomorrow, we might be able to play tomorrow. That stinks. That's not fun. It's a team sport. We're interactive people. So we took a no me mindset this summer, and our guys really embraced it. And this is cool to see as many people as we came up on that side. Me and Troy, I was like, I'm looking at the email and checking. I come around the corner, I'm like, there's humans that we're engaged with. So it was pretty cool. Couple other things, and I'm kind of going, if anyone has a question, just raise your hand and tell me to shut up and I'll answer it. It's called NIL, name, image, and likeness. A lot of you will see that on ESPN, just different articles and things like that. Basically, these young men now and women have an opportunity to get paid for their name, their image, and their likeness. Okay, so if somebody wanted to, the dumbed down version of it is, if you want someone to be a sponsor of something that you are one of your products, you can pay them. You can pay them, and I can't set it up. I can't pay them. Although there are places that may or may not be doing that. My brother works in NCAA enforcement, so it is what it is. So, but it's kind of changed the game on how some of these young men and women are looking at themselves. I don't know how much it's totally going to affect us right now today, but what's happening is some places are really establishing a setup where they're able to brand themselves. There's places hiring branding coaches. They're basically teaching these young men and women how to do their taxes right now, because when they get paid for something, they're gonna get taxed on it. You know, some of these kids don't understand that, but that's where it's going from. So the community right now can really take an approach into these athletes, and that's kind of one of the new things that's come down. The transfer portal has been a major change, and this name, image, and likeness has been a major change. So there's a set of twin women basketball player, I think at Fresno or something like that, that are like big TikTokers, and they signed a multi-million-dollar deal. Someone in our league just signed $1 million shoe deal at Tennessee State. So we're competing against it. All right, and it's real, and it's crazy of how it is, and we're all trying to learn it. That's kind of, someone asked me about that. That's a dumbed down version of it for me, as I say it. So that's kind of where that is. A little bit about our schedule as well. Some people had asked about our schedule. We played Bradley this year. We're going to play Bradley. It's Troy. Actually worked at Bradley, won a championship prior to coming here. The head coach was my college teammate, and we won a championship together at Green Bay. I have a history there because my father was at Bradley. So we're going to play there this year. They're going to come back to us next year, which is nice. One of the things I think this community deserves is good talent coming in the non-conference, seeing good teams come in non-conference. This year, unfortunately, we are playing a game from 4 years ago, a contract from 4 years ago. So I go to South Alabama, who was here 4 years ago, because COVID knocked it out last year. The year before, it was pushed off. So now I'm returning games, and my schedule, we got games canceled last year that we were trying to return and write the schedule, for lack of a better term. Well, it all got delayed. I mean, at one point, we were going to Youngstown State. 2 days later, we're playing against LSU. That's a little different competition and mindset of, you know, throwing that ball our way right there. And our guys played St. Louis and LSU. So it was fly by the seat of your pants. But what we're trying to do is fix that schedule. And it's taking time, because you have contracts from quite literally 2, 3, 4 years ago that we're returning. So we'll go to Bradley, we're going to go to Marquette, we're going to go to Creighton. We'll have probably Fort Wayne coming here, UMKC coming here, a couple non-division ones coming here, and then they'll give us about 13 home games right now, I believe, with an exhibition game and then our conference game. And then we'll be able to really start doing the schedule the right way moving forward. Looking at it, one of the reasons I wanted to go to Bradley this year is because they're coming back to us. Detroit will be back to us in 2 years. That was from 2 years ago. So when you're looking at scheduling, it's mind-boggling at times. It makes sense sometimes. Oh, we should play. Well, you can't, because I don't have room because of 4 years ago. So if we can get that right, I'm excited about it, because I want to bring in through relationships. I just have relationships with Marquette and Creighton and Bradley. A lot of it's because my family and my dad. I have no problem riding his coattails. I'm proud of him. I'm a proud son. He's a coach. And if I was 10th of him as a coach, I'd be a lucky man. And we have great success here. And I'm trying every day to do it. But that's a little bit of our schedule.